All right, today I'm sitting here with a very special person. This is my husband, Deazy, aka Jason. And I am really, really excited because he has agreed to to do this interview. He can be kind of shy outside, but at home he ain't that shy. But this kind of feels like outside because we're doing this interview. But I wanted to talk to him because his story is pretty cool as well. Um, Jason and I met a long time ago. We've been married for about 10 years. And the diet thing has been kind of like an ongoing thing. Like little by little, I kept taking things away and adding more things that were healthier. But this year he has made some really big, big, big changes. I just wanted to interview him just to see, what's kind of been inspiring him. And I kind of know, but I wanted to get it on camera because it's kind of cool. So DZ. um, so before like you and I were together, can you tell them what you were eating, just in general?
I was eating fast food like all the time. Um, a lot of times, like every single meal. It's
Like,
like breakfast would be McDonald's, lunch would be like Taco Bell, and dinner would be, pizza, something like that.
yeah.
Frozen pizza, something like that.
I was gonna say I remember the frozen pizza that you used to get from Walgreens or something like
Yeah, yeah.
that, and then go heat it up. Okay, yeah. Then when we got together, we started to like go to all these different restaurants, just exploring. So we would go out all the time and eat at restaurants, all the time, like almost every day or every night. We would go out to go eat, and that was early on. Then we started to have kids and started to cook a little bit more because that money was going into the into the kids. And that's when I started to introduce like the additional stuff. But this year, no, not even this year. So I think everything kind of changed during COVID. During COVID, um, he stopped walking. He stopped having to walk to court because he was walking to court all the time to just like all every single day. I think you were walking how many miles per day, like including home, from home.
I was walking, it depends, but some usually like about 3.5, 5 miles
Yeah, I remember like
every day.
5 miles
Yeah,
almost
just
every day.
five most days.
Yeah, and so during COVID that stopped and everything went electronic, and so diet was decent, still eating a lot of meat, uh, and so I remember that you put on a little bit of weight, and do you know how much you put on? Oh,
Um,
you didn't. You just stopped looking.
yeah, I stopped weighing myself. I didn't want to know. And I figured once I knew, I'd probably freak out and probably do something about it. I didn't really want to do something about it at the time.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like ignorance.
yeah.
Um,
I remember. I remember. I think the thing that I now looking back, because I think it's important to talk about this because this could change somebody's life. Is I remember you started snoring a lot more than you used to, and I was like, man, what is this about? What is this about? And like with time, it just got louder, and we were just kind of having a hard time sleeping at night, and um, it would wake me up in the middle of the night. And so I remember, so it was like all of this stuff is like happening, and then our son Titanium. I have some notes here, so I can remember what I'm trying to talk to him about. But our son Titanium is kind of brutal. So I've been like plant-based probably about 6 years now, probably about 6 years. And like with him, I started to really push, not really push, but yeah, push uh, plant-based eating, right? Like from the beginning, but my mom would always like sneak a little bit of chicken in because she would say he needed some protein. But I knew that he was getting protein in other ways. But at some point, he decided that he wanted to be vegetarian all by himself. And he just made that declaration one day. He was like, I want to be vegetarian. Ever since then, he's been one of those, like militant, I can't believe you're eating meat kind of situation. I'm not like that, but he's like that for sure. One of our really close family friends, Diane, told me that he said, Auntie Diane, I can't believe that you're eating chicken wings. And she was like, yeah, I'm eating these chicken wings. And he says, chicken wings are meant for birds to fly. And so I was like, yeah, he's really, really militant. Anyway, so titanium plays a part coming up like this year. And what did he tell you?
Animals need to live, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of like disgusted that I was eating meat, having any kind.
Yeah.
Um,
and like, didn't he also? Oh, yeah. Then you made him a promise.
Yeah. Yes. It was when I started like editing the videos.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Now this is good. Now I have a course. The course is on organic, whole foods, plant-based eating. And it's a really good course. I'm really proud of it. Like I really put a lot of time into it. It took me a long time to find out a lot of the things that I found out through trial and error. I found out through a lot of research, and I found out through making mistakes myself of all the different things that happen within the grocery store and what the food industry hides from us. And, people think that they're eating healthy, but they're not necessarily eating healthy. So I put that all in the course. And so Jason is the person who edited the videos. And it turned out really well. So he was just talking about, like, he was editing the videos, and while he was editing, I think he got some information from the videos. So yeah, so you're editing the videos.
Yeah, so I was
I said
I was editing the videos, and I kind of felt like a hypocrite, and then I kind of, was like thinking about all the things that I had learned just from talking to Mamelo over the years, and like some of it I just, like, okay, if that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing, but like there's like more explanation, and just like, like peanut butter is like, I think, the perfect example. Like I would always eat peanut butter, and I wouldn't get Jiffy, but I would get something I thought was healthy, but it would just be like, would have like extra stuff in there,
yeah,
like the oils and stuff. I think that one really struck me, because it's nothing I ever would have thought about. I always remember growing up, it would just be like people would talk about vegetable oil, and that seemed to be like the bad one. And then like I remember just being like, olive oil was good, vegetable oil was bad. Didn't really pay attention to anything else, and I didn't realize there was like 100,000 kinds of oils, and pretty much are all bad.
not all. A
Yeah.
couple of good ones.
So you just think of like deep fried food and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
so you don't really think about it in peanut butter. Think about salt in peanut butter, maybe. That's all I ever really thought about, or some weird chemical man-made thing I thought would be in there, probably.
Yeah.
Like some color or something, I don't know. But oils, I mean, like really kind of was part of the thing that really started it, I think. Because I was like, when I was like, like most of this stuff, like I know it only because Mamelo has told me, and a lot of times I didn't really think it through. I just kind of, you know, but when I was listening to her talk about it, um, there was a lot there that you just, a lot of people don't even question.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I don't know, when Ty was kind of jumping around here, but when Ty was talking to me about like the going vegetarian, I'm like, well, at least I can do is like, I wouldn't say I was pretty much vegetarian, but I was like definitely not eating very much meat, a lot less meat than the average person. Definitely a lot less meat than the average.
Why though?
Because of you.
Because I'm cooking.
Yeah.
Cooking.
Yeah, well, it's like, but every time we go out, I'd be like, whenever we go out, I'm just gonna kind of get what I want. I go out and get a big burger, and
Sometimes you gotta, I've never seen this. Remember, you got a burger with chicken. There was
Yeah,
like,
burger with chicken with well, probably not marinara, but red sauce, like pasta
I've
sauce
never
on
seen a
there,
burger with a burger
cheese,
and chicken
so
and
good.
cheese.
But yeah, it was kind of like almost like a cordon bleu or something. But yeah, it was uh you know it's not good when you're doing it, but you're like, oh, whatever,
Yeah,
I eat good most of the time and that's good enough, but it really isn't good, I don't think.
yeah,
So I told Ty, my son, that I'll try to only eat meat instead of, I was probably, I would say maybe eating meat like maybe 2 or 3 days a week
yeah,
for a meal. And then I was like, well, I'll just do it once a month or on major holidays, or like Thanksgiving and stuff like that. And I think I lasted 1 month. And then I was like, I just stopped pretty much, you know what I mean? I probably maybe once every 2 months I might have like a meal with meat. But it's like now it's like, I gotta look to Ty and even with Mello, and I don't like lying to myself. And so that's what I felt like. It wasn't just the lie, it wasn't like just the guilt. That was part of it because it was like
now you know, kind of,
yeah,
or
and it's like because pretty much I don't want to die.
yeah,
And it's like whether he knows or not, it doesn't matter. It's like I'm doing it to myself. And so there's no point in doing that.
that's powerful what you just said though.
But yeah, it's like it's like then you start getting into like some of the videos you hear like the bacon is like smoking cigarettes, and everybody knows like smoking a cigarette is like 15 minutes off your life. And so it's like, all right, so you start calculating all these meals you've had in your life, and you're like, I don't have much time left, you know
Oh no.
but yeah, it's not all about fear, but it's like doing the right thing. But that's part of the motivation for me, was just like survival. And you
Yeah.
start losing stuff even if you're not like going to the hospital, like like with the snoring and stuff. I'm not sleeping, so I'm like in a bad mood and that kind of stuff. And
You said you were or were not in a bed?
no, I mean, if you're not sleeping, you can't be,
Oh, oh
yeah,
yeah,
and
for
everybody
sure.
around who's listening to it is not sleeping either. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's just harder. It makes life harder. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I was thinking about what you said, like I don't want to die, and I like you're not gonna die by just eating a little, just a, meat here and there. But at the end of the day, what I really have found out is that eating a whole foods plant-based diet, organic, because that's another part of it. Because preservatives and pesticides are really a problem, really, really big problem too. Um, but that's the best way to live a long life that is healthy. So you could live a long life and you could be miserable for a long time. You could be on a whole bunch of medications and be miserable for a long period of time. Um, there have been a lot of like documentaries that document like just eating one meal of meat, and especially for like men, um, they measured, what movie was that? There was a movie, I was just watching it the other day. I think it was about athletes on Netflix. But yes, it was. Oh my gosh, it was right there. And they took the athlete's blood after they just ate one meal that had meat in it, and they also measured like how many erections they had in the middle of the night. And when they did eat the meat, the erections would not be as frequent, and also the blood was thicker. So it affects us even when we just eat one meal. So you're right about that. In terms of, it's really unfortunately just not good. But if you eat primarily that kind of meal, that kind of diet, whole foods, plant-based diet, then you're free, like your blood is flowing more, and you have less chances of developing erectile dysfunction, you have less chances of dying from chronic diseases, like all of that kind of stuff. So so what you're saying is right. Like Jason is really extreme though. He like either he's going to do it or he's not going to do it, and that is seriously with everything. So I totally get his thinking, but it's really, really helped him. And one thing that, well, two things that have happened since are that he's also started running again,
Okay.
which also helps. So diet is really, really important. And exercise is very important as well. It doesn't have to be like super long, but I know I've noticed since he started running, not just the weight loss, we're going to talk about the weight loss because that's very obvious, but just so many other things, like just being like more active, having more energy, all that kind of stuff. I think it's like a combination of both of them. But how much weight did you talk about it? Talk about it. How much weight have you lost?
Yeah, it's I think, well, it's like, I think almost 30
I was
pounds.
gonna say 30 pounds.
Between 25 and 30 pounds. And it was quick. And
Yeah.
it was just, that's why that was like, and it was like, to me, it was like, it was kind of scary because like I wasn't even eating horribly. I think I probably overate more than anything. But when I started running and stuff, everything kind of came together, I think at the same time, where it's like I'm listening to the course and it's like I kind of know more like what each action is gonna do.
Yeah.
And I guess I got more focused, and just dug down too. I think, because it's about willpower too. I think, because like you said, for me, I mean, everybody's different, but for me, it's all or nothing. I think because like,
Yeah.
because then it's like, oh well, I mean, I can have this tonight, and then it's like tomorrow. It's like, well, I had it yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't. It doesn't have to be that extreme, but it's just like I think it's all like they all play in together, like just the body movement. She says run. She's being. It's not more. It's more of like a fast walk and a jog back and forth for about for like an hour. But I think I like that better because
Yeah.
just the time that I think is more important actually than the speed. Um, and just it does give me more energy. I still get tired, at night, but it's like I think, because I get up earlier to do the running. I think that's part of the reason with that. But you don't have, everybody doesn't have, they can do it whenever they want to do it.
Yeah.
Or not, but
Yeah.
but definitely throughout the day, because usually I just come home from work and then be like, I just want to take my shoes off and sit down. I don't even want to walk the dog.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And now it's more, I can do more when I get home, and it feels a lot better.
Yep.
But it's like what you said, it's like it's the quality of the life, and it's like, you know, even on the short term, I mean, it's not even about long term. It's just like day to day. Um, you know, no.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was thinking about what you said about time. Initially I was thinking you were talking about like the time of day that you do it, but I think you were just talking about the time, the how long you do it.
Well, both.
Yeah. Because you know me, like, but I've been exercising for a while. Like I do like 20 to 30 minutes a day. I think that's still okay, but mine is intense. Like I go hard for that 20 or 30 minutes. And so maybe it probably just depends on like the level of like the intensity that you're going. But I still think it's not even to start. I think the main thing to start is um just being consistent about the time. So like you get up very early, like around 4:50 now, to go for a run at like 5 to 6. He's gone, something like that, right? Roundabout. But it's like just training our minds to be able to do that. So even if you were to go from, like if somebody's starting, if they say, okay, I'm gonna go for a run every morning at 7, whatever time, it just trains your mind to be able to just get your stuff on and get out of the house to do it. And you're right, like there's some days that I'm like, oh, maybe you don't have to, but I'm the same way. Like I run every single day, or I go to the gym and I exercise every single day. I think I miss more than you do, like one day a week or something like that, but I've developed some of the habit, and sometimes I plan it. I'm like, okay, this is a rest day. But But I know the power of habit, just having discipline, doing something at the same time every day builds muscle memory so that you just do it. It's just automatic. It's a part of your day. And some people will say, oh, I'm going to do it in the morning this day. I'm going to do it in the afternoon this day. And tomorrow I'm going to do it at night. I don't think that works. I think you have to be consistent about the time. Most people have to be consistent about the time because it's harder to change that. Anyway, that's just something else. Okay, so we got the weight loss. And then we got one more thing, and that is the sleep apnea is not here anymore. Yeah. It really feels miraculous. It's like, I just think about, like, I remember how much he was snoring and how loudly he was snoring, and literally nothing. There's nothing right now. So I thought this would be good, especially for anybody who might be having some sleep apnea issues and maybe you want to take a different route than getting all the stuff at the hospital. And that's okay, maybe to start and have them monitor and all that kind of stuff. But at some point, the truth is that with a decent amount of weight loss, it can get back to normal. So I thought that this was a really good one to share. And I also honestly wanted to interview him first because he's just been a really he's my husband. And he's been a really big part of this whole thing, just believing in everything and just encouraging me and believing in like my heart and like the things that I really want to do and help people with, and a whole bunch of other things. Like, I don't even know how he does it, but I really I know you probably you're definitely nervous, that's for sure. I know you are, and I know it would take a lot for you to just do this. So thank you. I appreciate it. All right, that's it. Thank you.